Welcome back to SHOT Show 2024. We are live at the Ghost Clover Podcast at Bersa USA's booth. We've got a couple great guests. We have 6 guests all day today. First 2 guests, we're bringing them here in a second. My name is Trey with Ghost Tactical, running the board and co-hosting, as always, is our good friend Chris from CloverTac. And we're going to bring in our couple first guests here. Remember, we have 3 20-minute segments. There will be a break in between segments. So if you come back and it's like, please wait. We're not done. We're not done. So let's let Chris bring in our first guest.
Before we do, real quick, Lucy out there, not sure where Lucy joined up as a channel member. By the way, both channels, you can do that down below, mine and Ghost Tacticals. But thanks to Lucy out there, Ricardo Caramano.
Lucy.
Yes, because it's Ricardo, we call him Lucy. But
Got some explaining to do.
So here we go. Chris with Monstrum Tactical. Known Chris for a while. Awesome stuff. Awesome company. Great budget optics, I think. And tell us a little bit about them.
All right. So you guys probably know me more behind the camera, but usually in my videos, I'll be like, hey guys, Chris from Muller-Monstrum, right? And I have a first person view, but it's great to be on here. We specialize, for those that don't know, budget optics. This year we came out with the first focal plane, 1-10 Panzer, LPBO, $250.
It's insane.
Glass,
it's
everything,
insane.
Lifetime warranty, service it out of Lake Forest, California.
So real quick though, for you say first focal plane, I know there's some folks out there that's not going to know what that means. Can you give a quick rundown?
Yeah, of course. So basically, just a layman's term, first focal plane, when you zoom in, the reticle will expand so that you have all the correct holdovers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we both use a lot of your products. The Prism, I've got a couple LPVOs. The Prism, if you guys have astigmatisms and you're looking for a great optic, there's a Marksman, and there's what's the other Prism that's great?
The Raven.
The Raven, yeah. So if you're looking for a good Prism, they're phenomenal. But yeah, what I love about what you guys are doing is you understand where you are in the market. You understand your niche. You're not trying to be Night Force or any of those. You understand where you are, and there you go. There you go. Threw that in there for you.
Now you can charge them extra.
That's right. That's right. But I love the fact that you know where you are and what you're trying to do, and you're trying to be the best product in that level.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you guys haven't checked out Monstrum, the glass quality is phenomenal. But I love that fact, and that's a strategy I think you guys are just living
We're just trying to scale all this technology down to like an everyday man, so we can save all that money on training or more ammo and stuff like that,
Absolutely.
For families,
And it's it's not just the optic side. It's not just the red dot, the glass optics, but a lot of the accessories and other stuff as well. I know that
we carry a lot of rails, a lot of mounts. That's our bread and butter right there too.
The hardware to mount that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly.
And I know you've said that before, that you guys have a large variety of that stuff and do move a lot of it.
We do move volumes. So.
As far as manufacturing, we talked about this on my podcast a while back, that years ago, Monstrum had different manufacturing than they do now. So people in the past that may have had the Monstrum products and maybe they had an issue or were worried about the quality, you'll talk about how that has changed a little bit.
Of course. So we started 10 years ago. And as anyone started, we started from gun shows, like reselling stuff. But then we had the opportunity to network with these distributors and manufacturers. And eventually we had enough funding so that we could create our own factory. And now everything comes into our own factory. We inspect everything from the millings of, the housings of these optics and these rails, as well as the glass quality itself. And we get to bring the competitors' items and break them down and kind of see, where the value really is, and we can try to replicate that and make sure that everyone gets it.
Yeah, and I love you guys. Like I said, you guys try to master what you're trying to do. We've got the LPVO game, the pistol dot game are real big. Where do you see the optic? Maybe not this Monstrum, but the whole optic game. Where do you see the next evolution of optics the next couple of years?
I think it'll be more precision, a lot more precision. Everyone will try to make everything more like a tactile, like all the turns, especially with those precision shooters where they don't really look at what they're doing. They're just turning and feeling like the optic itself, and just sharper, cleaner glass. I think fiber optic is the next stage to scale down in terms of cost. We just came out with a VDCC 1 rifle for the Banshee, and that one illuminates daylight bright. and it's at the price of like, I want to say $130, you know?
Oh, wow.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Monstrum is great. Like I said, we're going to talk a bit more about Monstrum
And
here.
we've already got some questions, and just once we get our next guest in here, we'll move into open forum. We'll go through some of those questions, so just be patient.
Our next guest probably doesn't need an introduction to most people out there, but from Women for Gun Rights.
You got that right.
I did, I do homework.
It's hard for me because we started out as DC Project.
And you've been that for so long, and most people know you as DC Project.
Yeah.
But it's still the teal. See what I did there?
Yep. Teal for 2A, baby.
Teal for 2A.
It's steel. It's 2A.
Dianna, welcome. And I want to take you a few minutes to talk about the project. If you're not aware of what Women for Gun Rights do, it's an amazing project where they go to DC and they have discussions and confront our elected officials.
Well, so now we're in all 50 states.
Right.
So we started out going to Washington, D.C., and that's why we were called the D.C. Project, because I had no intent on starting an organization. But 2019, we saw how Virginia fell to an all anti-government from the governor on down, and 98% of those counties declared themselves sanctuary city 2A counties. So obviously they're not listening to their constituents. They're doing what they want to do. And then I thought, oh my gosh, this is not just a federal fight. This is a state fight. So I asked the women who had been coming to Washington, D.C. to come back, go home and do the same thing at the state level. And since then, since I started, I wasn't paying any attention to politics when this is a totally God thing that he put on my heart, and now it's a passion project, and I just keep going because I see a need. I see the need that there are forces at work to disarm America, and they're really using the female voice to not only ask but demand. It's in their title, Moms Demand Action, or Every Town, or Students Demand Action. They're really using the students and the mom's voice to affect change. And I think that they are misled, that they want to be safe. I think we all want the same thing, that we want to be safe. It's just that they've been misinformed. They have a utopia that doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's up to us. We are an amazing vehicle to take the message, a counter message back to even Mom's Demand, and say, listen, let's have a conversation about this, because I think you're wrong. And I think that all these cities that have gun control can prove to you that they are wrong. It's not the cities that don't have a problem with that have the guns. It's the cities that have gun control that have the problems.
Now, as far as the name change from the DC Project to Women for Gun Rights, what was the thinking behind changing that? And I've noticed that, two-part question. I've noticed that the DC Project is still kind of woven in there. Will that eventually fade away?
Right. That's our goal, is since we're now a 50-state real organization, that it didn't make sense to have DC in our name. Gotcha. And so we had the tagline, about year 2 or 3, we were like, okay, we want to tell them who we are. We want to talk about, at least expose who we are when we're talking to people. And we had the tagline, Women for Gun Rights. And now we're just kind of dropping the DC Project.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I love the fact that you said that you want to have that discussion with groups like Moms Demand Action, Every Town, and all of that. I suspect that they're not really open to those discussions with you guys very much, are they?
Well, they've been beating people over the head, and people haven't really been stepping up to them for so long that they're bold, they're emboldened, and they've never really had anybody push back. So the ones that I have run into, and you have to be very prepared not to, your immediate reaction is to be rude, hateful, throat punch, whatever your reaction is. And as long as you're prepared, you know what's coming, and you know that you need to be the best representation for our community, then you can handle the hate and they're very high emotionally driven. And if you can just kind of stay centered and you have to practice your talking points. And I've gotten better over the years. I know how to talk about universal background checks, red flag laws. These things, roll off my tongue, and they didn't in the beginning. I had to really think about it. So you have to do your due diligence, and all of our community needs to. We have a one-page document on our landing page. It's womenforgunrights.org. And if you're going to an interview, if you're going to Thanksgiving table, wherever that you might be able to have a conversation, you can look at it and refresh some talking points.
Absolutely. One more question we talk about, for me, and Chris might have some more, but for me, when you guys go to DC, and I see guys posting, and most of everyone is at least trying to be a congressman or a senator from their represented state, and it seems like there's pretty much a good reception to you guys. Do you guys find that it's easier or better to talk with someone who might be more pro-gun, or are the better conversations the ones that you're trying to change a little bit?
Right. The people that you're in your camp already, they need to be reinforced that, hey, we support you.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know that they've been beat up for 10 years with Moms Demand Action. So we kind of both, strengthen their spine when it comes to voting and dealing and talking about the Second Amendment. And then those conversations that are anti, those are the ones that, we really want to have to say, hey, there are Democrat gun owners. There are Democrat gun owners in this building.
Yep.
And they are the most important gun owners right now, because they need to be stepping up to the front of the line and going into these Democrat offices and saying, listen, I voted for you. You need to back up off the Second Amendment. And, I don't see it. I know the Liberal Gun Club is here. I saw a couple of them at the governor's deal yesterday. And I'm like, you know what? I don't see you enough. I need to see a little bit more of you. So, and then remember that. And because when I started, I was very much like, using libtards and I used a libtard with somebody from the Liberal Gun Club, and they're like, well, I have guns too. So, it's an evolution. It's life, and you learn and you live and you learn and you decide what you're comfortable, and I thought, well, that's not going to bring people to the line. So I've changed my vocabulary and my thought processes some, and because it is for everybody, and we need to. It's not a constitutional issue. It's not a partisan issue. It's a constitutional issue.
Yeah, I found myself changing, instead of saying Democrat or Republican, it's anti or pro, as far as the two ways talk, because like you said, there are a lot of Democrats that are pro-gun,
and they'll remind you of that.
Yes, they will,
when you say libtard.
Yes,
but they what I would fault them is that they're not saying it to the right people.
The right people, absolutely.
Yeah. We're ready for open forum. Anybody out there has questions for Dianna or Chris, throw them in there. So we're going to continue the conversation here. But a lot of love for Monstrum. A lot of folks say they have them, they love them. A couple of questions, we'll cover them. Sykes out there. Are the prisms etched reticles?
Yes, they are all black etched reticles that illuminate up in usually red and green.
And that's a good point on the reticles. So the Banshee series, and I'm trying to think of the other things, but definitely I love the reticle on the Banshee, that square with the crosshair.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you call that.
It's all the X1 reticle.
The X1.
And now we have 3 more reticles too. These cater to the more like close range shooters, low LPBO type scopes. They have that BDC type reticle that goes out to 700 yards.
Yep.
And some of them we really cleaned up. We got rid of the windage, because a lot of users don't even use windage for LPBOs. And
now, do y'all come up with your own reticles? Or
yeah, it's designed in-house by our lead engineer, Rich. I think you saw him at the booth earlier.
Yeah. So he does all the math, I guess.
He does all the math and designs everything.
Math
too.
is hard.
Math is hard. That's why I don't shoot long range.
Right.
So true.
Got another one out there. Rich White.
The 1%.
Any talk, the 1%, any talk about developing a zero eye relief version of the prism?
A zero eye relief?
That's what he's saying.
I don't
I'm not
understand what
familiar
is
with that
zero.
question, but I'm
I was
assuming
getting ready to get schooled. I was like, what does that mean?
I don't.
I think he means like something with unlimited eye
Unlimited,
relief or
maybe?
something
Yeah,
like that.
probably unlimited.
It's just the technology in the prism scopes is not how it functions like a red dot, Like a red dot, you just point and shoot,
Right.
But with the prism scope, there is like a glass mechanism in there, and it
has to be
has
lined
some
up.
sort of eye relief to it, just like a regular scope.
It doesn't float,
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a floating dot.
Yeah, it's just the way things are sometimes.
Yeah, and maybe the perception maybe could be changed or something like that.
Yeah,
It could be.
Yep.
We've got DJ out there with Dianna. Said you had a great point. There needs to be far less of the fractional presentation, the finger pointing, and the other BS. I would agree.
Open dialogue.
I don't mind the finger pointing if it's done properly, because it's not maybe not to be
Shame can be a good thing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean to be a disrespectful thing, but if you're going to point out someone's offenses towards the Constitution and all that, say, look, you, sir, not everyone, you, sir, need to step up. I mean, so sometimes maybe finger pointing is okay, right?
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think of, I wish I were a debater like Charlie Kirk. Have you seen Charlie Kirk at a Turning Point USA?
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
He is, and you know, he's smart, and
Yeah.
and I think that's where, you know, me specifically, I'll speak for myself, but you know, when people say things that I can't counter, or I don't know how to counter, I know they're wrong, but I don't know how to articulate the point, then that just educates me. Like, okay, there's a weak point here,
Mhm.
and it frustrates me. I'm frustrated, and I'm going to start projecting it on you because I can't articulate and I can't win this point. So I think that's a human nature thing that you just really have to either educate yourself and really study hard and prepare for those conversations, or recognize that you need to control your temper.
Right. DJ out there, he says, before Dianna, he said, how would you recommend that we best spend the next 5 days, $5 and 5 years to support firearm rights and firearm normalization?
Well, I think that it doesn't cost $5. It shouldn't take 5 years. I think that if every person that listens to this engages and does something, it doesn't always take money. It does take your time.
Right.
But if you go, you know, the election polls, I mean, go to the poll and be an election worker, run for your school board, run for office, you know, just do something. I was 40 some odd years old before I ever started. Like, I served my community as a police officer, but I wasn't plugged into my community. I didn't I don't know. That's all I did was I did my job.
Went home,
But I
was a
wasn't. I
human
don't
being.
have kids, so I didn't have to deal with the school board. I didn't understand how the city worked. I wasn't into politics. But I'm telling you that if you may not like politics, but politics likes you, and you don't have to pay attention. But
That's a great
they're
line.
paying.
It really is.
Politics is paying attention to you, and if you don't do it, you will be ruled by lesser people.
Right. Got anything, Ghost? Before we move?
No, I think we're pretty good. I want to give each of you a
Well,
whole
I got
minute.
one more.
Oh, you got more
one
questions?
more. Yeah. I got one
Go
more
for
for
it.
Chris. That's
Go
why I
for
did.
it.
Sites out there. Anything night vision compatible that you guys do?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment. Gotcha.
We're working on a lot of
Yeah.
things stuff, so stay tuned.
Most of the monster stuff, and correct me if I'm wrong, I would consider conventional optics.
Exactly.
And I would
Correct.
think
That is
night
correct.
vision. I see that as not many. Well, it's a niche.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you guys are trying to cover the more broad
Exactly.
bases. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely. Chris, I want to give you a minute or so to kind of go through where they can contact you, website,
Oh, yeah.
social media, any place they can find you.
Yeah, you could probably find us all on social media, monstrum_tactical.com. We also have a YouTube channel too. And
Yeah, you
find
do.
us on the website too, monstrumtactical.com. Yeah.
And Dianna, obviously, each state has a representative, correct?
They have a state director, and that's what we need. Is we need to bolster our numbers and create an army of women in every state. So it doesn't matter what state you're in. We need you to sign up. It's free to sign up at this point. We just need bodies to counter Moms Demand Action. People don't understand the threat. They had 200 red shirts. So that's how we operate. I watch Moms Demand and I try to do what they do. They have a $60 million budget. I don't have that. But they had 200 people in red shirts that say Moms Demand at the opening day of legislature in South Carolina and Virginia last week before maybe. But that creates that visual. So that's really the whole that we're trying to create, is creating that teal visual for hearings, rallies, festivals, our communities, our friends, our families, and make guns great again. You know, you can't say that because that'll set them off from being MAGA.
Well, they're already great.
They
I
are.
get what you're saying.
But yeah, so you can find us at womenforgunrights.org and sign up for free. You can find that one-page talking point document there, and social media is Women for Gun Rights, and then Facebook, I think it still has DC Project Women for Gun Rights under. We were going to let that trail just a little bit, make sure people understood the that we're changing.
If someone goes to the website, can they find their individual state directors and maybe contact them for local events or something?
Yeah, well, what they do is they sign up and then we plug them into their state.
And they'll be contacted.
Yeah, they'll be contacted by
Awesome.
them.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, Dianna, Chris, thanks for joining. Thanks for this conversation. We're going to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because we will be back. There's 2 more segments left, 4 guests, at least 4 that I'm thinking, and we'll talk with those. So stand by for the standby.
Right. Stand by.
Thanks, guys.
Bersa has been a leading manufacturer for over 60 years. At Bersa, they understand that your safety is non-negotiable, and that's why they've crafted a line of exceptional firearms that redefine excellence. Their state-of-the-art manufacturing ensures every firearm is meticulously crafted to the highest standards, guaranteeing reliability and accuracy when it matters most. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a first-time gun owner, Bersa has a perfect solution for your needs. From the sleek and compact Thunder series, ideal for concealed carry, to the powerful and versatile BAR rifle, their range of firearms are designed for shooters who demand excellence in performance and design. Join the community of those who trust Bersa, a brand synonymous with innovation and quality. Their commitment to safety and precision has made them a trusted choice for law enforcement agencies and responsible gun owners alike. Visit Bersa.com to explore their full range of firearms and make every shot count. In a world where mental health is often overlooked, one organization is leading the charge. Walk the Talk America, a force for change, breaking down stigmas and fostering conversations that matter. At Walk the Talk America, they believe in the power of dialogue to reshape the narrative surrounding mental health. Their mission is simple but profound: to bridge the gap between mental health and firearms, because they understand that the real change starts with understanding, empathy, and open conversation. Tune into their groundbreaking podcast, Guns and Mental Health, where experts, advocates, and survivors share their stories and insights. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement towards a more compassionate and informed society. Join them as they organize events, workshops, and outreach programs to build a community that supports mental health without judgment. Join me in supporting Walk the Talk America and visit their website, walkthetalkamerica.org, to be part of the change. Well, guys, we do invite you to go check out both ours and Clover's YouTube channels. Ours is Ghost Tactical, where you can find all of our content over there, including our videos and our podcasts. And you can go check out Clover at CloverTac. Obviously, you can check out all of his content and podcasts as well. We also invite you to check out our websites. Ours is ghosttactical.us, where you'll be able to find everything that we're doing, including our swag store. And Clover's is clovertac.com. Once again, find all of his projects, all of his swag, and all of that. More importantly, guys, we do thank everyone for always supporting both myself and CloverTac, whether it's just by watching our stuff or those that do spend their hard-earned money through YouTube channel memberships. We do truly appreciate you guys. You guys make this all worthwhile. We ask you to go check out our sponsors for this podcast, Bersa and Walk the Talk America. We are currently getting ready for our next guest, so stand by for the standby.
Yeah.
Shows.
Bersa has been a leading manufacturer for over 60 years. At Bersa, they understand that your safety is non-negotiable, and that's why they've crafted a line of exceptional firearms that redefine excellence. Their state-of-the-art manufacturing ensures every firearm is meticulously crafted to the highest standards, guaranteeing reliability and accuracy when it matters most. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a first-time gun owner, Bersa has a perfect solution for your needs. From the sleek and compact Thunder series, ideal for concealed carry, to the powerful and versatile BAR rifle, their range of firearms are designed for shooters who demand excellence in performance and design. Join the community of those who trust Bersa, a brand synonymous with innovation and quality. Their commitment to safety and precision has made them a trusted choice for law enforcement agencies and responsible gun owners alike. Visit Bersa.com to explore their full range of firearms and make every shot count. In a world where mental health is often overlooked, one organization is leading the charge. Walk the Talk America, a force for change, breaking down stigmas and fostering conversations that matter. At Walk the Talk America, they believe in the power of dialogue to reshape the narrative surrounding mental health. Their mission is simple but profound.
All right, we are finally back, but we made it a little bit of a snafu, a little bit of change in the guest structure, but we had Walk Talk America and Bersa for this. We're at SHOT Show, we're day 3, and Bersa is covered up. So they said, hey, just let Walk the Talk America run with it. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, if you guys know anything about SHOT Show, you got to stay fluid, right? So, we got 2 great guests from a different perspective. We've got Heather and Greta, and these are Derek's and Jake's wives, and it's gonna be interesting because how is y'all's journey through Walk the Talk America? How this has maybe shaped and changed your lives with your husbands being involved with a pro-gun mental health organization. Beforehand, but we start real quick. Before they got involved, were you or your family members, anyone, were they pro-gun at the time, like for a long time, or is this something new to you guys?
So I am originally from South Dakota, and so my family hunted. So shotguns, basically, and rifles is all they did. I would walk like pheasant hunting, but I never actually shot a rifle. So they've never been against guns or anything. So that's my only experience with guns until meeting my husband, Jake.
And so Jake kind of brought you to the firearms world with him, I guess.
Yeah.
That's
I attempted to like 13 years ago when we first got together, took me out shooting, and I was way too nervous, wasn't comfortable at all, thought all the bad things that could happen would happen. I was like, nope, I can't do this. And so just recently, like October of 23 I've shot more since October to now than I have in 13 years of knowing Jake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Greta, firearms history, background with you and your family, maybe growing up, or was it limited?
My dad hunted, and I remember in 9th grade, we actually at school got to shoot in the basement, and we're taught 22. So
Awesome.
yeah, that was pretty cool.
Those days
does
are unfortunately
not happen
gone.
anymore.
What area was that again?
It was in Oregon,
Okay.
Portland area.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's even
Man,
stranger.
I know, it was in Hillsboro, so it was a little out in the country, but yeah.
Well, that's true. As far as the Pacific Northwest, I think the more rural areas are fine. It's like most places, the cities.
Big city. Yeah.
The one big city in the state kind of runs the politics or whatever. Yeah. So not growing up majorly into guns and all that, you get married to Jake and Derek, and now
Our
there's
condolences on that, by the way.
by the way, you know,
Someone had to take it for the team.
yeah, they
We're
definitely
here
married.
for
They definitely married. I think they know that.
The
as
other
well,
women, thank you for taking them out of the marketplace.
Wow. When the therapist in the idea of getting involved with the mental health, but from the firearm and the 2A side, obviously you were probably involved in that when they decided, hey, we want to start kind of getting involved with this organization. What was that discussion like from your point of view of saying, do we really want to go down this road? You have practices that are already established. You know, this could change everything. Were those conversations going through where you weren't quite sure where this could lead to?
That's a tough one.
It is a
Yeah,
tough
that
one.
is a tough one.
Hmm.
I mean, a lot of these things have just through changes in the conversations in our country and things
Yeah.
brought up a lot of questions and being prepared for whatever comes our way, as well as, I mean, we have a family of 5 kids, and
Whoa.
and I'm at home a lot, and just being prepared in those ways. And then when I finally did get that concealed carry permit, and then also just went in and got my first gun.
Congrats.
Yeah, it was kind of surreal walking out of that building and realizing I'm actually doing what this is part of being in the United
This
States.
is what we're supposed to do. Protect
Why is
ourselves.
it's almost embarrassing to say it, you know. How am I this removed from something that is such a privilege, you know?
Well, there's a lot of people in this country that are disconnected from that side of things. They think that they're going to be protected. They're going to be taken care of. Your husbands travel a lot now with this new venture. You have to be able and willing to protect yourselves, and a lot of people don't get that anymore.
Yeah. So honestly, when Jake started being a part of Walk the Talk America 4 or 5 years ago, I was just like, okay, cool, go do that. It's your thing. Another iron in the fire and stuff that you're going to be doing and everything. And then it started to build to this. I'm like, this would be really cool if you could actually go and speak to other places and do what you're doing. And I still wasn't comfortable with the guns. Like, not like, I love that we had them, but I myself shooting them, and
You weren't
like,
you personally
I
weren't
personally
comfortable
wasn't
with handling
comfortable with
them.
my ability with them.
Absolutely.
And he would be gone, and he's like, the Glock is in the safe and stuff, and this and that. I was like, okay,
Yeah, no.
I don't want to touch that.
Where's the
And-
baseball bat?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, get my kids back. And so, so then I don't know, just I had this aha moment 5-6 months ago that I'm like, I need to be able to defend myself and my kids if my husband is gone, and just be a partner with him in this journey of WTTA, and help maybe inspire, empower other women too. Because then I started to talk about guns at work.
Oh, really?
I would just like blurt it out, like
wow.
that I think I want to get my CCW, and a number of other women that I worked with were like, I want to do that too, and I haven't gotten
Nice.
the training, or like my husband has guns, but I'm not comfortable with them yet either. I was like, so we need to get together,
Sounds
take
like
a
a club
CCW
starting.
to,
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
exactly, and have a female instructor teach us and get this going. And so just the excitement and realizing that we need, as women, we need to be able to defend ourselves too, and be standing beside our husbands, the men, and
Absolutely.
help defend.
And
I love
just
that.
make it more of a normal thing,
Right.
Yeah.
rather than
Normalize it. Yeah.
oh, those girls over there do that,
Right,
but
yeah.
I don't.
Right.
Whatever,
Yeah.
you know, just this.
We
And show it for our children too,
Right.
that like,
Right.
hey, mom and dad, like,
Yep.
we're going to teach you safely from the very beginning,
Right.
whereas we might not have been taught when we were younger, and we're going to make this a normal in our house.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that, and I think I'm going to go into. I know he's got some questions, but that's a great thing because, you know, we talk about this, and I didn't shoot a gun really. I wasn't a gun person until I joined the Marine Corps, and I was 19 years old, and so I didn't grow up with guns. I grew up in suburbia Dallas, and live a suburbia life. He can't remember when he shot his first gun or what his
I don't
first gun
remember
was,
a time
because
without him,
he's been
ever.
had a
Oh,
gun since
yeah.
he was born.
Yeah.
And so it's two different, completely different. So
Yep.
it's normal for him, where I had to kind of learn it later on in life.
Yeah.
Well, and we had yesterday was a phenomenal episode, by the way. Go check that out
Oh,
and replay
man.
that. And something was said during that episode that applies here with what you were talking about in the workplace with coworkers. Is there's some fear about expressing you're a gun owner, or you want to become one, or you want to do that, and so people hold that in, and it's closeted. So it's great that you were able to kickstart that conversation,
And I never would have,
and
like,
people were
6
able to
months
open
ago.
up, and
Yeah.
you were kind of that trailblazer that
Yeah.
inspired everybody else to come forward and realize it's okay to say, hey, I want to be able to defend myself. I want to be able to learn the safe, responsible way to use this tool to defend myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to bring this up because we praise both your husbands for the work that they do,
Thank
right?
you.
And they're doing great work. I've known Jake now for about 5 or 6 years. I just met Derek this week, but I know about what he's doing up in Oregon and with 2A mental health and all that he's doing. And we praise Jake and Derek and Mike and everyone out there. I think we probably all tend to forget that when they're busy going around doing these conferences and speaking, y'all are left once again to protect the family and all that. So I want to say thank you for allowing them to do what they do, because Talk America, guys, if you don't know, it started, 6 years ago on a random meeting in New Orleans, and it has become what has become. And I love the fact that there's now a network of clinicians that are willing to come out and say, look, we are gun owners. If you need to talk to someone and you don't feel comfortable with talking with someone that is anti-gun, we now have a network. And for y'all to be able to say, guys, go do your thing is amazing. So thank you, ladies, for allowing them to do what they do as well. We have any questions out there? Anything, Clove?
I don't see any. I mean,
Okay.
there's a lot of
Probably a lot of chatter.
there's a lot of cheerleading, basically. For the ladies.
Absolutely. What I want to do is, okay. What I want to talk about also now for you guys is you talk about the kids and normalizing it with the kids. When we're talking about the mental health side, and we're talking about with firearms specifically, obviously, but the mental health side, are they aware of what their dads are doing in the realm of going around the country, helping people, trying to expand knowledge? They're aware of what they're doing, really?
My older kids are. I have 20, 17, 18.
Yeah, so they get it.
They get it.
Yeah.
We don't talk about it a ton, but they know that their dad's
Life has changed in the last several
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
On Fridays he goes to the podcast, right? Every morning, right?
That's why mom takes them to school.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't bother on that or on the podcast.
Yeah.
That's right.
Ours are 6 and 8, and so they know that dad's a therapist, and they know about Walk the Talk America, and they know the 4 gun safety rules, and they just took a class recently for gun safety, and they could have probably taught that class because Jake has harped on them.
Nice.
Trigger off the finger, finger off the trigger, and all this, and so they're pretty aware. I think when he goes to these things, maybe not the impact that he's doing or what Walk the Talk America is doing, but they do know that he's going to go and try to help others to prevent bad things happening. So.
I want to go. I think maybe we shift away a little bit from the firearm thing. I know it's weird, we're Sasha,
Right.
but in the realm of being married to a therapist, what's that? I mean, what's that like? I gotta ask. What's that like?
Do you feel they're always judging?
Do you want the honest answer? No.
We'll go off there real quick. Yeah.
Let's mute everybody. No.
So
You're married to a good one. I think. That helps, obviously. You're not
so
married to somebody who's manipulative.
No, we've been married less than DB and Greta, but I regardless of your profession, you're always learning. Even if you teach it to others, you're still learning it yourself, that you have to do it in your own life. And so I'm still trying to learn from him everything that he teaches others. And I think that he's still learning how to interact with me properly and communicate with me. And so I think it's a normal marriage. It's just, we just have to work at it and compromise. And so.
What is it? I heard say one time, I think it's easy to get married. The work is staying married.
Yeah.
I
Maybe 28 years for me, maybe 30 for
30,
you this year. So I know it for my wife, it's been a lot of work to put up with me for 28 years.
Like triple overtime.
Yeah,
No,
triple overtime.
They don't tell you that when you get married, that work is marriage. It's it's a commitment. It is a lifetime commitment.
It is.
Yeah.
What about you, Greta?
For me, with I think just knowing that, I mean, he can't tell me anything, right? So, and he's
Sure.
because he's a therapist,
Right.
But when he walks in the door and it's been a rough day, just being that consistent person there for him, and
I didn't
letting
think
him-
about the privacy thing, and that's
Yeah.
got to be tough.
yeah,
And they
hey,
wanna
let's
leave
go
it.
for a run, let's go lift weights, let's like here's a meal.
And they don't want to bring it home. Yeah, they
No,
don't want to relive
but
all of that.
They're
Yeah.
humans, so
Mhm.
it's part, they have skills and ways to work through stuff, but it's still, there's some heavy stuff out there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah, what
one
was
thing
it?
that's maybe a little different than some people
Yeah.
experience. They can't just tell me
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know one of your favorite movies, Tin Cup.
God, I love
But
Tin Cup.
when Renee, who?
Zellweger.
No, it's not Renee Zellweger.
No, it's Renee Russo.
Renee Russo kind of gets the hots for whatever, and she calls the other therapist. Right?
Yes.
And she says, "Well, therapists need therapists." You know.
Yeah, well, I actually asked Jake this is a couple 3 years ago. I don't know if it was on a podcast or just on a phone call. But we were talking, and I said, "Look, kind of what y'all are talking about. There's some deep, dark things that people get off their chest to your husbands, and as much as they probably don't want to bring those home, I asked Jake one time. I said, "Look, who takes care of you?
Right.
Like, who do you talk to?" And he says, "Well, obviously we have other professionals that we can reach out to." But he said a lot of times it's, without being specifics, it's at home. It's the wife and the kids that, you don't necessarily talk about it, but you allow yourself to release that. And he says, I said, "Man, there's no telling what you guys can bring home." I said, "Who do you talk to?" And people don't think about the therapist. They think they know it all, but I can't imagine that scenario of all the things that they must hear, and they're human also. So that's got to be tough for you guys. When he comes home, he's had a day probably,
Yeah. Well, and not being that person that's standing there, but not maybe having all the tools like they do as therapists to actually be able to help walk them through that. So,
Right.
I'm not going to go get my therapist degree. I have my degree in my own thing. But just slowly learning through him, teaching me and us communicating that maybe eventually I can be that tool for him to
Absolutely.
help him out more.
Absolutely.
So, DJ out there has thrown it basically the same question as Dianna earlier, and I think this could be a cool question for you ladies, because you obviously have your opinions of what your husbands do as far as mental health and 2A and all of that. So we'll start with Greta. How would you suggest people advocate for gun rights and mental health paired together, of course, by spending their next $5, 5 days, and 5 years? What do you think? What do you think would win the battle of 2A gun rights and mental health?
Well, the thing that keeps coming to mind, this is just a simple thing, but just keep having the conversation.
Yep.
Yep.
I love that.
And I mean, that's so key. I mean, have the conversation in your community, with your family, at work, and then obviously, with what the guys are doing here now,
right.
all the meetings and all of that. It's
Right.
It's you're just putting the word out there.
Yeah.
But in all of those areas, we need it. Not just the big conversations,
Right.
but also just in the family.
The big conversations don't have to be the only ones. The
Right.
small ones are probably
No.
where the great
Yeah.
stuff
The
is.
devil's in the details.
Absolutely.
A lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what it was like at work when I just talked about Reno Guns and Range, going there and something like, oh, I really want to, and I had no idea, and I had no idea my supervisor was a CCW, and so it's like, whoa, you just have to be vulnerable and say something that you're passionate about, and
sometimes
it's
that's
amazing.
the hardest thing, is to allow yourself to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
And it is real. I mean, I had a similar experience. I'm a homeschool mom, and I got together with these other moms, and I had just gotten my concealed carry, and I was so excited. But and I just kind of mentioned it to one of the ladies. She's, oh yeah, I do too. And then I find out all these ladies, oh yeah, I haven't been shooting for a while. I need to go practice. And it's
now
really-
I was gonna say there's a club.
right.
Yeah.
It's amazing
awesome.
the women that are out there that need to speak more. Yeah.
We're gonna do one more kind of a rapid fire, first thought out of your head
Okay.
for both of you. What's SHOT Show been like for you?
Ooh.
amazing.
Yeah.
Like
Overwhelming, or
no,
is it? Yeah.
I was gonna say not overwhelming. It's like Jake has said this a number of times that the gun community is such a special group of people. Like they're just all so nice, they're so accepting, and just really great people. And I experienced that these 2 days that I've been here so far.
That's
and
awesome.
I was like, this is great, amazing. And then you see the women, all the women that are here, and it's
And I can tell you,
Yeah.
just in the 7-8 years we've been coming to SHOT, the number every year of women grow.
yeah.
The first year we went, there were some, obviously, but every year and there's more and more and more. It's like, okay,
Of all
this is
ages,
great.
which is so cool. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
How do you
I-
think?
it
You like
was-
SHOT Show?
I do. And I really enjoyed, it's so amazing just to see all the different the people, yes, but also just all the different guns. I'm like, wow, I cannot believe what the variety that's
Yeah.
out there is incredible.
Whatever you want, there's something out there for everybody.
And it's easy to love SHOT Show when you're married to not John Lovell actual.
not John Lovell actual.
So just pointing that out.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna take a few minutes to take a break for a second. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Greta, for coming on.
Thank you
Your
for having me.
perspective is amazing, and like I said, I do truly thank you for allowing your husbands to be part of our world, because they are doing great work. So, guys, we'll be back in a few minutes. So stand by for the standby.
Bersa has been a leading manufacturer for over 60 years. At Bersa, they understand that your safety is non-negotiable, and that's why they've crafted a line of exceptional firearms that redefine excellence. Their state-of-the-art manufacturing ensures every firearm is meticulously crafted to the highest standards, guaranteeing reliability and accuracy when it matters most. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a first-time gun owner, Bersa has a perfect solution for your needs. From the sleek and compact Thunder series, ideal for concealed carry, to the powerful and versatile BAR rifle, their range of firearms are designed for shooters who demand excellence in performance and design. Join the community of those who trust Bersa, a brand synonymous with innovation and quality. Their commitment to safety and precision has made them a trusted choice for law enforcement agencies and responsible gun owners alike. Visit Bersa.com to explore their full range of firearms and make every shot count. In a world where mental health is often overlooked, one organization is leading the charge. Walk the Talk America, a force for change, breaking down stigmas and fostering conversations that matter. At Walk the Talk America, they believe in the power of dialogue to reshape the narrative surrounding mental health. Their mission is simple but profound: to bridge the gap between mental health and firearms, because they understand that the real change starts with understanding, empathy, and open conversation. Tune into their groundbreaking podcast, Guns and Mental Health, where experts, advocates, and survivors share their stories and insights. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement towards a more compassionate and informed society. Join them as they organize events, workshops, and outreach programs to build a community that supports mental health without judgment. Join me in supporting Walk the Talk America and visit their website, walkthetalkamerica.org, to be part of the change. Well, guys, we do invite you to go check out both ours and Clover's YouTube channels. Ours is Ghost Tactical, where you can find all of our content over there, including our videos and our podcasts. And you can go check out Clover at CloverTac. Obviously, you can check out all of his content and podcasts as well. We also invite you to check out our websites. Ours is ghosttactical.us, where you'll be able to find everything that we're doing, including our swag store. And Clover's is clovertac.com. Once again, find all of his projects, all of his swag, and all of that. More importantly, guys, we do thank everyone for always supporting both myself and CloverTac, whether it's just by watching our stuff or those that do spend their hard-earned money through YouTube channel memberships. We do truly appreciate you guys. You guys make this all worthwhile. We ask you to go check out our sponsors for this podcast, Bersa and Walk the Talk America. We are currently getting ready for our next guest, so stand by for the standby.
And we're back. Another programming change.
The casting couch once again has changed. So
Yeah. Well, you never know.
you never, ever, ever know.
Live
We've got a couple
TV.
of guests here that you guys probably all recognize this gentleman right here. You might know who she is, but many of you don't know who she is on camera.
Well, once upon a time, it was that guy's wife.
That's
Media,
right. That's right.
Which is coincidentally on the back of
On the back of the laptop. That's right.
which is funny.
So we want to bring in first. So the pound for pound sexiest gun bunny in the world. I'm gonna be a boxing promoter here. The pound for pound sexiest gun bunny in the world, Lovatron, from the Second is for Everyone podcast and DiversityShoot.com. The one, the only, big Tony Simon. What's up, buddy?
Hey man, what's going on? I'm glad to be here.
We're great. We're really glad to have you.
You gonna make it, dude? All I know is mouth to mouth, and you ain't gonna make it.
I'm telling you. So the party on Wednesday night's awesome, but it's outdoors, fish open, and horse obviously, and yeah. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I'm doing good, man. I'm glad to be out here. I dorked up my leg about 3 weeks before SHOT Show.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I thought having that needle in it would work, and they gave me a cortisone shot. Nah, didn't work as well as I thought. A lot of walking here, so I rented a scooter. And my wife just sent me a video of a fat guy on a motorcycle, and she thought it was funny because she said that's me on the scooter.
I have it. I will share it later.
Yeah, she couldn't stop laughing.
And by the
she shared
way, we love you, but we do make fun of you behind your back about riding a scooter at SHOT Show. Just saying.
believe me, I'd make fun of me in front of my face about riding a scooter. But let me explain something. This is my 3rd or 4th year at SHOT. Man, it's a lot easier just to ride around and walk
Well, you
everywhere.
think?
Oh,
You think, Tony?
I'm jealous, honestly. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I had the, I might take it,
Well-
especially on Thursday and Friday. You know,
Okay.
But if it's going to become a regular thing,
sponsorships.
you got to have the stereo system. You got to have the 3-wheel motion.
And I want the NASCAR wrap with all the sponsors that are
Oh,
sponsoring
yeah,
that
the
scooter.
Diversity Shoot sponsors. Nice.
Works for me because it's sweet not not walking.
Well, you brought up Diversity Shoot in a Second for Everyone podcast, and obviously Tony's very well known in the 2A in the gun world. But for those of you that are watching or listening that may not know much about what's going on, I want to give you a few minutes to talk about all the projects, Diversity Shoot, and the podcast as well.
All right, cool. I'll go ahead and give the elevator speech because that's why I'm here.
That's why we're at SHOT.
at SHOT. So I've been giving it left and right. In New Jersey, I started something called the Second is for Everyone Diversity Shoot because I went and testified against their stupid gun laws, and we had 200 pro-gun people there testifying, and I was the only one that was black. And I'm like, dude, we're at the range. We have minorities at the range, regardless of what it is. We have them. And no one showed up. So I contacted Second Amendment groups in my state, and I said, dudes, do you have something to welcome people in and tell them about advocacy? And everyone said no. So my friend Sean told me, I guess you got to start it. And that's what I did. So in 2015, I started the Second is, actually I called it the African American Diversity Shoot because it was done in February
Well,
of
that wasn't
2015.
very diverse.
Absolutely.
Well, immediately everybody going, well, I'm white, can I come? I'm like, yes, you can come. It's in February. It's African American History Month.
Right.
That's why I named it that. Yeah, but I'm white. The second is for everyone. Hey. And that's what I did.
Oh.
So I started that in 2015, and we did it every other month at Gun for Hire Range. 2020 came, and I mean, we'd been going for 5 years. I felt real good. And then COVID hit, and the state forcibly shut down all the ranges. And I'm like, this sucks. Well, since 2015, I've been coming on shows talking about the Diversity Shoot. A range in Pennsylvania heard me and said, hey, you can come here. Pennsylvania isn't closed, and you can have an event every month. So that's what we did. So somehow in 2020, when all the ranges in my state were closed, I was able to double the number of diversity shoots I had.
And you're not only staying in New Jersey and Pennsylvania, you will travel, and do travel to spread the message of the Second is for Everybody.
We've been on to Omaha last year. We did in Omaha with the Nebraska Firearms Owners Association. They were great about it. Tried to do it again. I'm sorry, we did it a year before last. We tried to do it last year, and NRAILA was working with us, and we set up a tour. We were going to hit 3 states in 1 week. Rockstar, baby. And they were like, you're not a charity, dude. We can't fund individuals doing things. So that was just another less excuse that I have to not make this a 501c3. Different things have been happening that pretty much forcing me down that you gotta do it.
Yeah.
Funding is really difficult. This event pays for the next event, pays for the next event. And then when I need to raise money for things, I do things like right now we have a raffle. If you go to Instagram, Simon Says Train, you can see it. And it's a raffle for SHOT Show swag and a knife from CloverTac.
Yep.
And it's like, this is what I have to continually do to get money in. And if I were a charity, it's easier for these companies to actually donate product, swag, and money, and also qualify for grants. So that's why we're doing it. And what we're doing is teaching people about the Second Amendment in the state of New Jersey or wherever we go, teaching people it should be an apolitical right.
Absolutely.
It's a natural right for all humans to be able to defend themselves. And the government is trying to take this from you, and they're trying to divide you based on race, religion, gender, sexual orientation. They're using everything to take your right away. This is the same civil rights struggle that we had with Black people, that we had with women's suffrage. Everything is the same. They're trying to convince you it's different. It's not. This is the same civil rights. This is the same top 10 list.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why are they trying to make you think it's different? Because if they keep you divided, they win. My diversity shoots bring people together. And I intentionally use diversity shoot because I'm not allowing them to corrupt that language. We are diverse, but we're diverse in perspective. We're diverse in lives. We're diverse in lifestyles.
It's not just skin color.
All human.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they want you to think skin color. And I'm like,
Absolutely.
no. We're diverse, and that's what makes us stronger.
There you go.
And I go into my events, regardless of who you are, saying some of the most politically, well, you guys know me, some of the most politically incorrect stuff ever, because that's how we talked back in the day when we cared about each other.
That's right.
You could feel hatred. And when you use the politically correct words, all you're doing is covering up your bias and bullcrap. And we can all see it. We see the hypocrisy of these people that use these words.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk, and if you don't know how to talk about something or talk to somebody or use words that are politically incorrect, it's up to the person that received those words to go, hey, we don't use that anymore because it's offensive because of this.
Mm-hmm. But what I love about that is if you do it the right way, they're not offended because they're trying to help you not to offend the next person.
That's all.
It's sharing knowledge and sharing experiences.
Act like you care, and also don't have the victim mentality. And that's another problem, that people want to be victimized. So I talk about this at my event because there's been a concerted effort by the media, the government, and everyone else to break us apart so the status quo can maintain. So the diversity shoot is about getting people to understand this government was created by dudes that didn't trust government. This government was created by dudes that said stay strapped or get clapped. And that's why they have the Second Amendment. And they wanted us to have weapons of war. That was the entire friggin' point.
That's right.
And when I talk about it and we know history and we talk through it, people start to get it. They start nodding their heads, and it's hilarious because they start out like this. And they end up like, all right, let's see what he means now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I'm not here to turn you into a gun owner. Right. I'm here to educate you, to tell you where to look.
Yep.
So when we talk about the gun violence epidemic, understand they need dead bodies to push this political agenda, because it's less than 1% of gun violence deaths are mass shootings. Less than 1%. They never talk about suicide prevention.
Nope.
63%. Never talk about it. Never talk about gang violence. 33 to 35%. We get into the single digits before we even get into justified civilian self-defense shootings.
Right.
And they never tell you what happens if all guns disappear tomorrow to the 250,000 to 5 million people that use a firearm to defend themselves every year. Mm-hmm. What happens to them? If you think blood gonna run in the streets for constitutional carry, if all guns disappeared tomorrow, how much blood would run in the streets?
Right. It would be amazing, because here's the thing. You're taking the guns away from the law-abiding citizens.
Exactly.
There you go.
And you're allowing people to have them who are violent, and then you have to depend on mercy from the merciless.
That's right.
Bad strategy.
Bad strategy.
We got an interesting comment out there.
Oh,
Since how we're in the Bersa booth here at Shot Show,
Yeah.
we've got Oscar saying greetings from Argentina.
oh wow! What are the odds of that?
So, what's up, Oscar?
What's up, Argentina?
Yeah.
Don't cry for me.
Hey, Argentina. So, yeah, well, we're going to come back with Tony. If you got questions for Tony, throw those out there in the chat. We're going to move on wildlife. It's weird. Yesterday,
I'm gonna let you interview your wife. This ought to be good.
really? Well,
yeah.
I know you're going to jump in.
I'll
You got
jump in.
plenty to say.
Oh yeah.
It's weird. Yesterday we had and I'm hoarse and I can hear myself being hoarse. It's horrible. Yesterday we had the conversation, you and I, about like the universe doing its thing.
Yeah.
We had to cancel. We bought Mark in from Umarex
And
and
it
what
was
happened.
amazing.
We had the ladies in, the wives in. We mentioned and then we had somebody cancel in this next segment. Like, what's up with it's weird.
Well, and once again, you have to be fluid at SHOT Show because, people get pulled into meetings unexpectedly. And look, as much as we love doing podcasts, we love talking to you guys, we understand that the industry people here are here to do business. And if they have an opportunity to have a meeting, go have a meeting and we'll figure it out. And so far, the last couple of days when we just kind of like at the last minute figured it out, it's been amazing.
Right. Yeah.
It's been amazing.
Yeah. So, to kind of hype it up, Gunpowder Beauty out there says, heck yeah. That guy's wife, Media rocks. So, my wife, Arminthia Dover, and she's going to be like, hey, you actually said my name. Yeah.
He
I did.
did. He said
For the first time on maybe a podcast, maybe.
So, SHOT Show for you this year was, I think, from my perspective, and probably you two outside looking in, better than any other.
it was.
For
so,
her, absolutely. I would say so.
so
She's smiling on Thursday, first of all.
Yeah, right. After last night, no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Or the night before.
Or the night before. All right, Pothole, it's on you. Here we go.
So coming into SHOT Show, I'm not the firearms person that these guys are. I was not raised around firearms. Most of you guys know that know me. Coming into SHOT Show, I'm basically like a SHOT Show widow. They go and do their things because they're in their element. And so I'm kind of set to fend by myself. And doing this by yourself, it's overwhelming. It's a lot. And this being my, fourth, fifth year coming, it's not as much fun for me because I'm by myself. I'm walking around, and if I don't know anybody and I don't speak the language. So this is not the same for me. Now, this year I brought a friend. And so to see SHOT Show through her eyes and to have the female perspective on top of that, but she's more versed in it than what I am. And so it just brought a whole different thing to it. And I'm like, okay, I need someone here all week with me because it made it wonderful. This has been probably, honestly, my favorite SHOT Show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talk about everyone that and when it comes to SHOT Show, we do our thing.
Yes.
And we obviously have our own projects individually and all that. But a lot of the times, if we're able to, he might go to a meeting that I don't care about, but I'm going to go there, and he'll go to some booths that I'm going to go to. But a lot of it is for that support.
Yes.
It's not necessarily that I need him in that booth or he needs me in that booth, but it's right when the meeting's over with, having that support structure and being able to feed it. Hey, hey, maybe you might mention this next time on your pitch or whatever, or hey, how'd that pitch go? Did it sound that sound bad? It sounds bad. We had to talk about pitches, but that's what we're here for, right?
Well, it's somebody that understands where you're at.
Yeah.
Well,
You know what I
getting
mean?
excited over something but you don't have anybody to share it with.
Right.
I mean, I get excited, but something good happened.
You're like, hey,
Exactly. I mean, it's a good thing that just happened, but then it's almost a letdown that you don't have that person to bounce it off of.
right.
It's like, yes. Oh, this sucks.
Oh, yeah.
So this week has been really amazing.
I've got a question, and we're going to go a little behind the scenes. And if you're going to bring her in, then we're going to bring her in. I want some behind the scenes of CloverTac. How bad is it on the 24-hour journey from East Texas to Vegas in the car with him every year?
Talking about coming two shot.
Coming two-shot because coming back hard.
Honestly, at this
Coming
point,
back
either way.
is hard enough as it is because everyone's tired, you know.
Yeah.
So honestly, this year has been better, and it's going to sound really ridiculous. Him changing up our music has been like the number one thing because I'm not
By the
having.
way, Tony, a lot of Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and Gloria Estefan.
I really was looking at gangster rap, like 90s Brody
Oh,
gangster
there's
rap.
some.
Eminem.
Actually, we were
Oh, Eminem.
jamming some Beasties and some. We had Snoop on earlier.
LL Cool J.
LL Cool J, Run DMC.
Oh, I was
Tupac.
thinking more Luke
Tupac.
Skywalker.
Cool
Mo-
Mo,
Too Loud.
like Cool Mo D and all those guys.
Yeah, but typically he plays music that whatever it's playing, I don't understand the words. It sounds like they're all
Pearl Jam.
screaming.
Pearl Jam.
It's just it's
no one
noise.
understands Pearl
It's
Jam's
noise.
lyrics. Let's just be
It's
honest.
noise. So all I hear beats. So I may be over there bouncing, being okay, this is good, but I don't understand.
We
that
also
thing they're
found
saying.
out that lyrics are not her strong point.
Oh, that's
We
wonderful.
found out that there's a famous. We won't go into the song or the lyrics.
Excuse me as I kiss this guy.
That's one of them.
Oh, that one. We can mention. I don't care. Mention it.
Mention so the song is "Escape."
Rupert Holmes.
Rupert Holmes,
One Hit
and they
Wonder.
said that if you like making love at midnight on the dunes of the Cape. Forever, she thought it was with the deuce on the cake.
Honestly.
On a cake.
So the
If
dunes
you like
on the
making love
cake.
at midnight with the deuce.
So dunes on the cake.
This is Vegas. It's extra.
But we
Whatever
can't
you
make,
want to do, sir.
but we can't make that happen. It's extra, but it will. We can make it happen.
Right.
It was amazing. But we all have lyrics that we always thought was something different growing up. I
Yeah.
thought that Jet Airliner from Steve Miller Band was Big Old Jet, had a light on, and not Big Old Jet Airliner.
Yeah.
I was like 12 when I figured that out.
But honestly, the ride here, I think we're like any other couple. We have our great moments.
Yep.
We have our horrible moments. But we have a 24-hour period to get here, basically, and so we go through all those things that we'd go through at the house,
Right.
and we go through our silent moments where you have that where there's no need to talk. I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay being silent for a little bit, or where the music's up or the music's down, and just kind of bouncing off of each other what's going on, or being that sounding board for whatever at that moment.
Right.
So
Yeah, I think my wife enjoys me going to shot just as much as I do because she gets a week off from me. So
I don't get that. Well, technically I do, because
I'm
during
now his wife. Is what you're
exactly
saying?
during
Okay.
shot I am a widow.
Or he's my wife. I'm not really sure how this is going to work. But
Well, and we learned the first year that coming out here, you're hyped up for shot.
oh yeah,
Some get switching the driving and napping. It's easy because you're hyped up. You're ready to get out here. You're ready to get it going. We've been coming and getting in on Saturday,
Yeah.
right? And then we've got Sunday. We can hang out and go places and do some things and like acclimate to Vegas a little bit
Yep.
before we start the week of shot and
Yep.
working.
That's how
And-
we went into. That's how we go into NRA.
Yeah.
Wife and I.
And going back the first year, we was we'll approach it the same way. And oh man, after 2, 3, maybe 4 hours, if you're lucky, sleep at night and running hard all day, and you hear what I sound
not
like.
this year. We haven't getting 4 hours
So
sleep.
that's what I'm saying. But you hear what I sound like. So obviously I've got some issues going on. And we nearly killed each other.
Yeah.
And so we were
Oh,
like,
it was
okay,
bad.
from now on, what takes a day straight drive nonstop going because we're excited,
Yeah,
we take 3 days, 2 nights stop going back, and we enjoy the ride and the scenery, and we take it easy, and
Yeah.
we're able to pull over more and do things.
That's exactly it.
So for our marriage, for our mental health, for our overall sanity.
Incarceration status.
Yes.
that's. I mean, that's true.
Well, they took a lot off the table now that I can claim I'm a woman. I get locked up, believe me. I'm transitioning. I'm just letting you know.
The biggest woman prisoner.
Hey,
I
That's
girls.
right. Hey,
don't know that you could claim the biggest woman prisoner title in
I can tell
the
you right
United
now, I
States.
can't. I worked in the prison and they had the women there, and let's just say they're bigger than me. Some of them.
And talk about the stars aligning again. Worked in the prison nurse. Oh, there you go.
How about that? Yep. I want to bring in Tony real quick and give you a few minutes to talk about anything we didn't discuss. More importantly, where can people find the organization? Social media. Is there a way for people that want to help out to donate to the causes as well?
Okay, let's go ahead and go with the social media thing. Simon Says Train is my Instagram because I started off as a trainer, and that's my message also. Simon Says Train is my Instagram handle. Second for Everyone, the 2ND. Second for Everyone on X. The Second, same thing, 2ND for Everyone on Facebook. My website is diversityshoot.com, and our podcast is 2A4E Podcast. Second Amendments for Everyone Podcast, 2A4E. Now, right now, we have a SHOT Show giveaway raffle kind of thing going. You can donate $20 per chance. I've been collecting a bunch of SHOT Show exclusive stuff, including the SHOT Show magazine. Each one, they have a different, each day they have a different one out. So that's some of the swag that we're going to give away. I'm putting together a huge package of it, including the CloverTac knife. It's $20. Go to my social media. You can see it. I'll have links there that you can donate. You can donate at diversityshoot.com on our PayPal. This is going to help pay for this trip and finance the next one because I'm on my way to Ambassador Academy in Florida with Dianna Muller.
Awesome.
And I'm going to be there for 5 days. And brother needs to actually fly down there because I'm not driving to Florida.
What?
That people get fooled by how big Florida really is.
Well, from what your wife was saying, you take the motorcycle.
No, that was, bro, you got to see the video. Anyway, but also my podcast is a weekly podcast that I probably put out about 4 times a year. So it's really fun. And I got to get better at it because I have a lot of material. I have interviews. I actually have the first interview that the new CEO of Tactical Response ever did. The first interview he ever did on the podcast. And I haven't released it in like 6-8 months. So stuff like that, I have awesome friends in the industry and I've been blessed. But this is a fight. And the reason I'm here is to actually get the industry in on it.
Yep.
We sell guns at our event, i.e., people come and shoot and go, wow, I never shot one of those. I'm going to buy one.
Yep.
And I'm like, wait a minute, the industry's profiting, but the industry isn't helping as a whole. Now, I've had swag donated and things like that, but I'm like, we need real money. I can't keep waiting for every diversity shoot to have a raffle or depending on people to send us stuff. Let these guys finance the fight because I'm bringing in people across the political, racial spectrum. Let's get in this. Come on, help finance it. Put your money where your mouth is.
Right.
Absolutely. It's almost time, isn't it?
Let's close it.
So remember, guys, we want to thank you, Arminthia, and obviously Tony. We want to thank Dianna Muller, Chris Tran from Monstrum Tactical, and Heather and Gretchen.
Heather and Gretchen.
Heather and Gretchen from Walk Talk for coming on today. It was a great episode. Tomorrow is the final day of SHOT. Tomorrow, the podcast will be at 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 Central, 12 noon Eastern.
Time change.
Time change. There's people got traveling and everything else. So we'll go early in the morning tomorrow. Got a great lineup with them tomorrow. Chloe, you got anything to close it out with?
No, that's it. Let's get.
All right. We'll see you soon. Thank you guys for joining.
Bersa has been a leading manufacturer for over 60 years. At Bersa, they understand that your safety is non-negotiable, and that's why they've crafted a line of exceptional firearms that redefine excellence. Their state-of-the-art manufacturing ensures every firearm is meticulously crafted to the highest standards, guaranteeing reliability and accuracy when it matters most. Whether you're a seasoned professional or a first-time gun owner, Bersa has a perfect solution for your needs. From the sleek and compact Thunder series, ideal for concealed carry, to the powerful and versatile BAR rifle, their range of firearms are designed for shooters who demand excellence in performance and design. Join the community of those who trust Bersa, a brand synonymous with innovation and quality. Their commitment to safety and precision has made them a trusted choice for law enforcement agencies and responsible gun owners alike. Visit Bersa.com to explore their full range of firearms and make every shot count. In a world where mental health is often overlooked, one organization is leading the charge. Walk the Talk America, a force for change, breaking down stigmas and fostering conversations that matter. At Walk the Talk America, they believe in the power of dialogue to reshape the narrative surrounding mental health. Their mission is simple but profound: to bridge the gap between mental health and firearms, because they understand that the real change starts with understanding, empathy, and open conversation. Tune into their groundbreaking podcast, Guns and Mental Health, where experts, advocates, and survivors share their stories and insights. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement towards a more compassionate and informed society. Join them as they organize events, workshops, and outreach programs to build a community that supports mental health without judgment. Join me in supporting Walk the Talk America and visit their website, walkthetalkamerica.org, to be part of the change. Well, guys, we do invite you to go check out both ours and Clover's YouTube channels. Ours is Ghost Tactical, where you can find all of our content over there, including our videos and our podcasts. And you can go check out Clover at CloverTac. Obviously, you can check out all of his content and podcasts as well. We also invite you to check out our websites. Ours is ghosttactical.us, where you'll be able to find everything that we're doing, including our swag store. And Clover's is clovertac.com. Once again, find all of his projects, all of his swag, and all of that. More importantly, guys, we do thank everyone for always supporting both myself and CloverTac, whether it's just by watching our stuff or those that do spend their hard-earned money through YouTube channel memberships. We do truly appreciate you guys. You guys make this all worthwhile. We ask you to go check out our sponsors for this podcast, Bersa and Walk the Talk America. We are currently getting ready for our next guest, so stand by for the standby.